Afternoon, Explorers. My name is Katie. I'm joined here with my friend Kelly, and we're going to be bringing out our ambassador for about 10 to 15 minutes. Her name is Annika, and if you are regulars around here, you have probably seen Miss Annika before. She lives on the other side of our Cool Critters building. Right now, she's next door to her gentleman friend Ficus, and every once in a while, you might see the two of them together in one habitat, because Annika has a very important job here. She's part of the SSP program, the Species Survival Plan, and so she's here for breeding with Mr. Ficus. She is a South African caracal is what she is. Now, she's been with us, oh, sorry, it's still me and the weird plant over here, sorry, Annika. We'll talk about that in a minute, her jumpiness. So she's part of that SSP plan. We're hoping that her and Ficus one day will have some kittens. Well, she'll have the kittens. Ficus won't have anything to do with it other than the initial part, because cats are solitary and they do not like spending that much time together. But so far, she's a little over 4 years old. We have not had a successful breeding, but keep your fingers crossed. We are going to get there eventually.
It's like too much work to get that. Never mind.
Let's talk a little bit about caracals. Okay. They are funny cats. She's being a funny cat right now. She's being a little ridiculous. And so sorry if when I talk about her, I just kind of giggle because she makes me laugh a lot. She's kind of funny. Now, being a cat from Africa, being a smaller cat from Africa, there are a lot of other animals there that want to hunt after her. So I want to talk about kind of some of her behaviors that you're going to see out here in our presentation area. So she is considered a predator, right? She's a carnivore. She only eats meat. She doesn't eat any other. She's not going to eat these leaves or anything out here. But she eats meat. Kelly hid some meat in there. She doesn't eat coconuts either. Kelly hid some meat in the coconuts. And so she only eats meat, so that means she needs to go out and hunt for it. She's going to hunt for her food, but there are a lot of other predators in Africa that might hunt after her. So she has to be pretty smart about how she goes about finding her food. So she's going to mainly hunt during the daytime. That's when she's mainly going to hunt. But caracals are actually really successful hunters, and that sometimes they'll hunt during the night or the day. They can actually change their cycles, unlike a lot of the other big carnivores there, so that she can hunt at different times. But primarily, she's a diurnal animal. So that means hunts during the daytime. She's awake during the daytime, just like we are. But let's talk about what she hunts. Who here thinks she hunts pine cones? I just want to see if anybody's still listening, because that was a big group that went by. That's okay. Kelly did? Well, Kelly's going to get herself in trouble. We know better, right, Kelly? Kelly is like my little sister. She likes to tease me too much. All right, so caracals, I want you to notice those big back legs, right? So she's got powerful back legs, not Kelly's. She's going to trip over the rocks. That's what you get for making fun of me, Kelly. All right, so she's got those big back legs, and they're for jumping. She can jump about 10 to 12 feet straight up into the air from a seated position. And when I say she, I'm actually referring to caracals, not Annika. Annika, I have seen her jump about 7 or 8 feet, and that's about as high as I've seen her jump, because she says, you guys deliver my food like to my face, so I don't really need to jump unless it's trying to get away from Ficus. She'll jump to get away from him. But these guys are really excellent jumpers. So she needs to jump 10 to 12 feet up in the air. What is she hunting? Birds. Everybody agree? All right, yeah, she is. These guys are primarily a bird hunting cat. Now, it is in a record that a caracal one time caught, what number of birds are we up to? This is like a fishing story. The 45 birds in one jump? Okay, that's dramatic. All right, it was more like 15 birds in one jump. So what I want you to imagine how a caracal hunts, right? When you think about carnivores and hunting, they usually grab them by the throat, by the jugular, and they pull them down. That is not how a caracal hunts. They're going to run into like a grassy field or slink. They're going to be very sneaky into their grassy field. When a flock of birds takes off, right, there can be hundreds of birds in a flock of birds, and they're going to take off, and the caracal's going to jump, and she's going to hit the birds with her paws. So she's going to use all of her paws at all at the same time and hit as many birds as she can. and then she's going to go back and pick up the birds that she's stunned. So that's how caracals hunt. There's a little bit different than other carnivores or other cats. Now, caracals they kind of look like a bobcat or a lynx. They are sometimes referred to as the desert lynx, but they are not closely related to what we have here as the lynx. Their closest relative happens to be the serval. Anybody familiar with the serval? Yeah, they kind of have similar things in that they're really good at jumping, but that's about as close as they look, right? So servals are spotted, striped cats, and they have dainty little feet. Servals, they will jump, but they're really good at pulling stuff out of holes with their small feet, whereas this caracal here does not know how to use her feet at all, which is why that's why I think it's really funny to watch her try to get her food out of enrichment, because she forgets that she has feet and she tries to use her face all the time, and it makes me laugh quite a bit. So watching her kind of makes me giggle. All right, now I mentioned she kind of looks like a lynx, and what feature is it that looks like a lynx? What do you think makes her look like a lynx? The face? What about the ears, right? Those tufts. So there's quite a few cats that have the tufts of fur at the tops of their ears, and there's a couple different theories as to why cats have those tufts. So we'll go over them, and I'll see if you guys can guess which one's my favorite theory. One theory is it kind of helps to break up their form when they're sitting in the grasses so they can camouflage better. Another theory is it kind of exaggerates the ears, right? So if she moves her ears, she uses her ears to communicate with other caracals, or if she were to have kittens, she would communicate things with her ears, so it kind of helps to exaggerate that so they can see that a little bit more. Or the third theory, when they're sitting in the grass and those tufts are at the top of the grass, those little black tufts in the grass, everybody's using their imagination right now, right? What do those little black tufts in grass look like?
Ears.
Ooh, did somebody say ears? All right, think about what birds eat. What do birds eat, you guys? Anybody know what birds eat?
Worms.
Seeds, worms, caterpillars, things like that, right? So those little black tufts could look kind of like a caterpillar in the grasses and be a lure for birds to come down to the grass. But it's kind of tough to tell. No, just one. Okay. At least I had Kelly laughing. That's what I did. All right, you guys. Well, as she's out here doing some work and still training, she's doing much better than I thought she would. I'm still talking about Kelly. Just kidding, Kelly. All right, what do you guys want to know about caracals? Because now is your chance to ask some questions. If you have any questions about them, I can answer them for you. Of course you have a question. What is your question?
I know you're not supposed to ask, but what does she weigh?
What? You never ask a lady what they weigh.
That's why I'm asking you. I'm asking you, not her.
Oh, okay. So these guys, they're kind of, for a small cat, they're considered one of the bigger of the small cats. Annika is kind of petite. So she's a little over 10 kilograms. So she's probably about 22, 23 pounds right now. So she's kind of, if you see Ficus, I think he's almost 40 pounds. So he's a lot bigger than Annika is. But I will tell you guys, Annika is the boss. She will tell Ficus exactly what she wants and when to leave her alone. So she communicates very efficiently with him. Yeah. Why do they have a shorter tail? I'm just kidding, yes, I do know. So these guys are designed for jumping, right? They don't live in a cold climate. If you think about why other cats have long tails, think about a cheetah, right? As they're running and they have that long tail. That tail will kind of help counterbalance them as they're running and making turns. Think about a snow leopard. They have that long tail. They're also like jumping rock to rock. It can help them balance, but it's also really cold where they're from. So that tail kind of helps to keep them warm. Where she's from and what she does is just a lot of jumping. That tail would just get in the way. Her jumps are more straight up instead of balancing. So she doesn't need that long tail to help her with that. Spooky. So kind of same with the servals and bobcats and lynx. That long tail would just get in the way. Over time, they've developed different strategies for hunting. They don't need such a long tail. All right, any other questions? Yes. Is she full grown? Yeah, plus a little, but don't tell her I said that. Okay? Yeah. She's just in her paws finally, huh, Kelly? All right, any other questions for me before we run? Now, we are using operant conditioning or positive reinforcement with Annika here. So Kelly's asking her to do different things. Sometimes we have to get the meat there before the face gets there, though. So that's kind of what you're watching. So we use operant conditioning, and I love to talk about training with animals, you guys. Training works. How many of you guys have dogs or cats at home? Anybody here have any at home? Do you train your dogs or cats? I should say dogs. Who trains a cat, right? Cats train us. That's really what happens. Right, Annika? She's like, yeah, we are superior. So we usually use operant conditioning in our home lives. We just don't usually call it the same thing. We use it, kids. Unfortunately, you probably get rewarded. Well, fortunately, you get rewarded for doing good things. You know, when we go through potty training, we reward good behavior. But kids, did you guys know you can train your grown-ups? Did you know?
Say what?
Do you guys want to know how to do it? Yeah, who here wants to know how to train their grown-ups? Okay, you guys ready? Grown-ups, I need you guys all to stop listening at this moment because we're going to talk about it. So, when your grown-ups do something you like, right? So say your grown-ups bring you somewhere really cool like the zoo and you had a really fun day and you got to do all kinds of fun stuff. What do you do?
Tell them. You say thank you.
She stepped on
Thank
it.
you. That is positive reinforcement, you guys. That's how we reinforce our grown-ups.
there's a snack
When
there.
we say thank you and we give hugs and we're appreciative, that is positive reinforcement for grown-ups. Grown-ups really like that. So if you want them to repeat a behavior, you have to reinforce it. So make sure you do that every time they do something you like, okay? All right, well, Annika, I think, has had her fill. She's just kind of sitting around now. That's fun. We are going to let her head back. We are running a little low on food, and when we're out low on food, we're low on time. So we still have to get her home, but if you guys have any other questions as she's ending her session here, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day here at the zoo, and make sure you check